outside the clinic. As the night falls, the series of incidents enters as intermission. A few hours ago, you and Marius were in the midst of an attack. You only suffered minor injuries thanks to Marius' protection. However, his head was injured and he fell unconscious. After giving your statement at the police station, you quickly rushed to the hospital without sparing a moment to tidy yourself up. Marius, please be alright. Hospital ward. Marius, how is he? Ah! The second you open the door to the hospital room, a tall figure jumps out of the hospital bed and wraps you into his embrace. The familiar smell, lightly tinted with antiseptics, rush up your nose. You feel your heart tremble before a feeling of relief sets in. Are you okay? Other than the bandages on the back of his head and the pale look on his face, Marius seems to be as he always is, although the grip from his hug is quite tight. Marius, let go of me first. This is really uncomfortable. After seemingly noticing that you are being smoothed, he presses the back of your waist towards him even harder.
못 놔줘요. 나랑 못 헤어져요. 난 동의 못 한다고요.
But I'm really. Wait, break up? You are bewildered by his unexpected words. Just as you're about to question it more, the doctor outside the room seems to have heard the ruckus and quickly makes his way over.
환자분은 아직 안정을 취해야 하니 얼른 누워 계세요. 급격한 감정 기복도 유의하시고요.
Marius, I'm not breaking up with you. You need to listen to the doctor and return to bed. Lie down on the bed and we'll talk, okay?
그럼 내 옆에만 있어요.
After tending to him for a while longer, Marius finally lies back down in bed with a hurt look on his face. You let out a sigh of relief. Just as you're about to turn around to speak to the doctor, something grabs your fingertips.
유신우 환자분 가족 맞으시죠?
Marius' father and brother are unable to be here in this instant. It seems that you're the only one by his side if anything needs to be taken care of. Yes, I am.
네. 사실 유신우 환자분의 현재 상황에 대해 말씀드릴 일이 있습니다.
With a complicated look, the doctor glances at the sad-looking Marius who is staring at you. The doctor is having a hard time trying to find the appropriate words. Seeing his behavior, the worries that just went away suddenly return with even more intensity. Go ahead, I can handle it.
그런 뜻이 아닙니다. 사실 경미한 찰과상만 입으셨거든요. 지금은 상처 소독과 치료도 끝냈고요. 그런데 문제는 환자가 외상으로 인해 기억에 혼란이 생긴 것 같습니다. 어쩌면 환각을 보고 있다고 해야 할지도 모르겠네요.
Hallucinating? Your mind turns blank as this unexpected word is mentioned. Marius speaks suddenly with an irritated tone as he lies on the hospital bed.
몇 번을 말해요. 이건 환각이 아니라니까요. 회사에서 나오자마자 헤어지자는 누나의 문자를 받았어요. 누나가 연애 때문에 업무 효율이 떨어진다고 했고요. 너무 걱정되고 속상해서 누나한테 전화했는데 안 받더라고요. 그래서 서둘러 변호사 사무소로 가다가 교통사고가 났어요.
Wait, you mean in your memory your injuries are from a car accident?
네, 쓰러지기 전에 길 옆에 복권 가게에 붙은 복권 1등 당첨 번호를 본 기억까지 나요. 앞 세 자리가 956. 확인해봐요.
He has a look of confidence on his face as you become more and more confused. What jackpot? I never sent you a breakup text message. You open the text message app on your phone and show it to Marius. You then take his phone out as well. Without a doubt, there are no breakup text message on either of your phones.
진짜 없네요. 그럼 나랑 헤어질 생각은 없는 거죠?
We've always been in a great relationship, haven't we? Why would I want to break up with you for such a strange reason? Huh? Marius yells up excitedly and jumps off the bed to hug you, nearly knocking you off your feet.
다행이에요. 우린 절대 못 헤어진다니까요.
Looking over Mary's shoulder, you and the doctor make eye contact with complicated looks on both of your faces.
어쨌든 최대한 신속하게 뇌 CT를 진행해 원인을 밝혀내겠습니다. 요 며칠은 안정을 취해야 해요. 과로나 너무 깊게 생각하는 건 금물입니다.
Okay, I understand. After watching the doctor as he leaves, you use all your strength to unlock Mary's grip and stuff him back under the covers. You then sit to the side and look at him. The events from just half a day ago replay in your head. However, even after putting your mind to it, you still can't figure out how things turned out this way. Mary's bedroom. Half a day ago in Mary's room. X12, are they holding a press release already? That's a little quick, isn't it?
물론이죠. 내가 직접 확인한 최신 정보가 틀릴 리 없잖아요. 손 놓을 테니까 발밑 조심해요.
Oh, okay. As the fifth container is placed on the ground, the shipping task that took up the entire morning finally comes to an end.
창고의 보물 상자를 이제 다 여기로 옮겼네요.
Then, is it time to open them? What's in these boxes anyway? Could you give me a hint? Due to a mysterious treasure hunt invitation text message you received from Marius yesterday, you took a day off today to join him at his house. What you didn't expect was that the first step of the treasure hunt was to move boxes from his own warehouse.
보물 상자를 여는 게 얼마나 재밌는 일인데요. 미리 말해주면 재미없죠.
Marius affectionately caresses your tousled hair and smooths it out. He then grabs one of the boxes and begins to open it.
X본 1세대 제품은 개발할 때 이런저런 우여곡절이 있긴 했어도 성적만큼은 끝내줘요. 그 덕분에 이사회 사람들도 이번 2세대 개발에 회방을 놓지 않았고요. 그래서 프로젝트가 그렇게 순조롭게 진행된 거예요. 오늘은 미리 소소하게 축하하는 거죠.
I see. Bumps in the road and drama, huh? Although Marius spoke with a light tone, the experiences the two of you shared are still as clear as day. Due to corporate infighting during the development period of the first generation Xbone, many of the core members and senior members of PAX left the company. Only Marius alone understands how heavy of a price that was. Good thing Marius' perseverance paid off. If the second generation does well, they'll definitely be proud of Marius. With that in mind, you feel a sudden energy rush up your chest and begin to encourage both Marius and yourself. The second generation will definitely break sales records. What's wrong? Seeing Marius pause while halfway through opening the box, you quickly feel embarrassed for your sudden jolt of passion.
아니에요. 누나가 이렇게까지 관심 가져줄 거라곤 예상 못해서요. 어제 개발진과 얘기를 나눠봤는데 방금 누나의 자신감과 열정 같은 건 보이지 않았거든요. 아니면 누나가 자신감과 열정을 느끼는 대상이 혹시 제품 자체가 아닌 걸까요?
A slight thought forms in your minds as you see the mischievous smile on Marius' face when he presses down on the box and moves closer to you. You plan on playing a little prank on him. Of course. You stand your ground as you feel the warmth of his breath. Instead of backing away, you lean over the box in the same position and move so close to Marius that your foreheads are nearly touching. What makes me passionate and confident is obviously the hard work, devotion and passion of all the Pax employees.
그거 맞아요?
Marius looks at you with a blank gaze. He seems to have known that you wouldn't fall for his trap that easily, but didn't expect to hear the words that just came from your mouth. Of course, all of the employees' hard work is incredibly moving. Seeing that things before him are not unfolding according to his expectations, and a grief look begins to creep onto Marius' face.
누나, 변했어요. 이제 나 달래주지도 않네요. 어쩌다 이렇게 된 거죠? 사랑이 식은 거예요? 아니면
Before he can finish, you quickly lower your head and gently kiss him on the lips.
누나,
Obviously, it's because I never needed to coddle you. When I'm with you, I've always been genuine and true with my feelings. Although you tried your hardest to imitate Mary's tone, you still can't help but be slightly vague with your final words.
진심이라니. 방금 그 정도로는 좀 부족한데요?
He gently tilts your face upward. Your mind turns blank as you are enveloped in a surge of gentle passion. Just as the overwhelming atmosphere is about to drown out your last remaining senses, your elbow hits the box and the chill on your skin awakens you. Wait, that's enough, Marius. We still need to open the treasure chest.
알겠어요. 남은 건 이따 다시 할게요.
After letting go of you with a smile on his face, he moves the box beneath the two of you and opens it up. Wow! The box contains artifacts that are clearly from ages ago.
이건 1세대 소형 드론인데 제대로 비행한 적은 한 번밖에 없어요. 받자마자 형이랑 갖고 놀았죠. 그리고 이건 세계 한정판인 메이저리그 트로피의 공식 복제품이에요. 그때 아버지랑 같이 현장에서 결승전을 관람했거든요. 백스테이지에서 우승팀 사인까지 모았죠.
Marius gradually takes out the treasures and shows them to you. One by one, he's putting his paws on display for you.
어젯밤 시온 씨가 조카 생일 선물을 고르고 있다고 하더라고요. 이런저런 대화를 나누다가 문득 어릴 때 선물 받은 장난감과 다른 물건들이 떠올랐어요.
This really is treasure preserved by time. Huh? This is... You take out the guitar case from the pile of artifacts that looks to be a bit newer. Isn't this the guitar you gave me before? What is it doing here? Marius smiles and takes the guitar from you. He masterfully places it on his leg and begins a strumming motion that you haven't seen in a long while.
그때 누나한테 기타를 선물하면서 생각했어요. 이 추억은 꼭 누나랑 간직해야겠다고요. 그땐 아직 누나랑 사귀기 전이라 어쩔 수 없이 똑같은 기타를 하나 더 사는 수밖에 없었어요.
Marius runs his fingers across the guitar with love and obsession. Memories of the past begin to reappear in your mind. Yeah, I never forgot about the roadside performance. But did you practice after that? The hand that caressing the guitar comes to a stop. Marius seems to be flooded by memories of the past.
연주할 순 있는데 누나가 원한다면 현장에서 누나만을 위한 콘서트를 열 수도 있어요.
Oh, in that case, I can't wait. Where will the performance be held? Right here?
장소는 일단 넘어가고 누나, 콘서트에 중요한 단계가 있다는 걸 잊으면 안 되죠.
Which aspect?
티켓 검사와 입장하는 단계요. 유신우의 아마추어급 연주, 영원히 헤어지지 않는 사랑 콘서트가 곧 시작됩니다. 티켓 확인할게요.
He chuckles and opens his palm in front of you. You hold in your laughter and gently smack his open hand. Your last performance was far from being good enough to sell tickets. I'm not going to fall for it this time.
내 열정을 좀 믿어줘요. 저번에 그렇게 망신을 당했으니 부끄럽게 생각하고 잘못을 뉘우쳤을 수도 있는 거잖아요?
Really?
이번엔 꼭 누나의 테스트를 통과할 수 있을 거예요.
Okay, why don't we start with the song then?
알겠어요?
Just as Marius rolls up his sleeves excitedly and gets ready to play, his cell phone begins to vibrate. It's Vincent. It's probably about work.
대체 얼마나 중요한 일이길래 연주 끝나고 전화하지.
Although Marius says that, he still takes the phone without hesitation.
여보세요? 나예요. 뭐라고요?
You suddenly see a fierce look on Marius' face.
좋아요. 바로 내려갈게요.
What is it? Did something happen?
X본 2세대의 핵심 기술자들이 단체로 사직서를 냈대요. 시온 씨가 여기로 오고 있는 중이에요.
What? The Von Hagen estate. The atmosphere inside the living room of the Von Hagen estate is far more tense than you expected. Marius' brows is intensely furrowed as he holds a stack of papers which seems to be reports. Vincent is off to the side operating his tablet. They don't look very happy. Are things really that bad? After hearing Marius' quick mention of the core employees resigning as a group, the first thought that comes to your mind is that maybe a competitor is poaching their employees. If it really is due to unethical practices from their competitors, there has to be legal methods to temporarily slow them down. Marius said that this is a critical time for the second generation's introduction to the market. Please let everything be okay. You slowly walk down the stairs as your mind continues to churn. However, as you reach the final steps, your train of thought is stopped by Marius' cold, piercing voice. Things have already come to this. HR just planned on showing me these resignation letters and thought that would be the end of it. Have them give me a proper answer immediately. He tosses the stack of papers in his hand. The papers scatter all over the place and one finds its way to your feet. Huh? Yara, what are you doing here? Hearing the sound of your gasp, Marius turns around and is surprised to see you. He gets up and walks towards you. I was worried that you might be in a difficult situation. I wanted to come and see what I can do to help. I see. Did I startle you just now? I was a little... It's okay. It's a big deal for the company. It's normal for you to be tense. You smile and kneel down with him to collect the scattered resignation letters. Although they're supposed to be resignation letters, they look more like sheets with empty boxes. The areas that should be filled out in detail are mostly blank. As you pick up the letters, even without paying too much attention, the sharp phrases catch your eye. Reason for resignation: moving too far from home, but this employee has worked at PAX for nearly 10 years. You notice it too, huh? After picking up the last letter, Marius holds your arm and helps you up. He then takes the stack of papers from you. Many of these people are core members of PACs. They're all very capable and experienced. However, they're all resigning simultaneously without any warning. It's a really critical time, and they gave such a half-hearted reasons. There's definitely something going on. Could it be your competitors? Maybe Crimson's trying to fight Pikes for market share and decided to tempt the Pikes team with extremely high salaries? It's a possibility. Vincent is confirming it as we speak. But there are still countless other possibilities. We can let our guard down, whether it be internally or externally. There is a bitterness in his voice when he says internally. I know, whatever the case, this will definitely go to court. I think this is somewhat similar to what happened last time. Due to an information leak from the board of directors, the first generation iPhones were facing extreme risk. If it is also an internal issue this time, Marius is destined to be deeply hurt, regardless of whether the involved party is an all-PAX employee or a high-level board member. In comparison, if it's an external issue involving a competitor playing dirty, it actually wouldn't be a big deal for him. But if it really is a mole, you look at Marius with worry in your eyes, only to find him smiling at you after organizing the stack of papers. Come on, let's sit on the sofa and talk. Just as he's about to turn around, you reach out and tug on his shirt from the back. Don't worry, going to court is my specialty, just like running a company is yours. We took care of the incident last time. We'll be able to resolve the problem at hand this time as well. He smiles and quickly rubs your head. That's right, with you here, everything is going to be fine. The situation at hand is a little complex. Make sure you don't leave me by my side halfway through, okay? Don't worry, as long as the information that you provide is correct, there's no way I'll drop the ball. After kidding around for a bit, some of his usual relaxed expression returns to Marius' face. At the same moment, Vincent suddenly stands up. Master Marius, HR has responded. Vincent holds out the tablet and Marius quickly takes hold of it. He drags you to the sofa and the two of you look at it side by side. The tablet shows the HR department's communication history. You glance over the records and can't help but frown. The resigning employees all declare that they wish to resign even if it means a full surrender of all compensation and company shares they hold. They have also refused any further communication. Yes, the employees who resigned today are all on paid leave. They're also being half-hearted with HR. But what about their resignation handoff? If they resign now, the X-Point 2 will definitely suffer losses. Maybe if you penalize a portion of their salary, you suddenly come to a realization as you speak. These employees are all willing to give up their pet shares and compensation to resign. The penalized salary won't hold any weight over them. What's going on here? Why are they in such a hurry to leave? What about Crimson? What are they up to? How is the investigation going? Nothing's happened over the Crimson. They most likely aren't pushing our stuff with inflated salaries. I see. Marius closes his eyes and seems to fall deep into thought. But is HR certain no one approached the employees with a high salary to try to tempt them? If they were careful, it would be very hard to find out, right? That's because practically no one has the ability to push from packs. Marius leans forward with a serious look on his face and his fingers interlock in front of his lips. They are paid the highest salaries in the industry and hold company shares. On top of that, the S12 release is basically guaranteed. Not even prison would be able to name a price high enough to entice all of them to give up their benefits and resign without making waves. But the problem is, what if it's not due to money? What else could make them resign as a group with such determination? Silence settles in the room. Being a part of the workforce, you are well aware that salary and working environment are the two basic reasons for any resignation. But no matter what it is, it's never something that every employee will stay silent about. So what is it? As you think and try to figure out the reason, the tablet in Vincent's hand begins to vibrate. Master Marius, the Exponential Marketing Department just sent over an email. They're asking if they should postpone the upcoming press release. Postpone? Even every second counts when you're trying to secure the market. Even if it's postponed, it will be following in the same disastrous footsteps of the first generation, wouldn't it? Yes, but the employees have already submitted their letters of resignation. If we wish to forcefully recall them and request that they continue with the development, maybe the only way to make that happen is to sue them regarding the shares they are holding and their NDAs. Or is recalling and forcing them to hand off their work or dragging it out over a 30-day period for the contract to automatically terminate. All you can do is with the current laws in effect. After an employee submits a letter of resignation, although they do have the responsibility of handing off their work, they are still eligible to terminate legally after 30 days. The company definitely has the right to sue based on other restrictions in their contracts, but that's something to worry about later. Besides, if things really get to that point, it would mean that PAX is going to completely terminate its relationship with them. We definitely can't do that. They're all very important employees to PAX. We're not clear about the situation yet. PAX can't blindly go after them like this. The frustration growing from the complexity of the situation is soon dispersed by what feels like a crackling thunder. Without any hesitation, Marius stands up and looks over at Vincent. Send an email to marketing. Tell them that the press release will proceed as scheduled. Make sure the other departments work with them and make the appropriate adjustments. Have HR wait for me in the lobby. I'll be at the office to discuss this further. Okay, Master Marius. But the employees, there's no use thinking and trying to figure it out here. Whether it be someone causing trouble or if PAX really hasn't treated them properly, at the very least, we need to pinpoint the problem as quickly as we can. Otherwise, if something like this happens again, PAX will never be able to succeed in any further projects. Marius' words are stern and straightforward. Vincent no longer voices any disagreement and immediately stands up to head to the office. We should get ready and head to PAX as well. You are not sure if you're reading too much into it, but it seems like Marius relaxed a little after Vincent's departure. However, he balls up his fist once more. You tenderly cover his fist with your hand and gently push your fingers into his palm, hoping to make him relax. Do you think it was an inside job? Don Edison and Kenji are both gone. PAX is back on track and proceeding smoothly. If someone else on the inside betrays Marius at a critical time like this, the chances of it being an exterior factor are slim after excluding Crimson from the possible culprits, right? I don't really know right now. But I hope not. You firmly hold onto Marius' hand and do your best to put on a smile as you look at him. I'll come with you to the office. The two of you immediately hear the chatter of two employees the moment you enter Pax Tower. Right, nobody knows why they're all quitting. Crimson wouldn't come and try to recruit them at a time like this, right? That would be ridiculous. It's hard to say. Crimson's in it to make money, and the second generation products are made to be light, inexpensive, and high quality. You can even say that once it hits the market, it will immediately take over a big portion of the market share. Who wouldn't want a piece of that? Besides, who's to say that Crimson isn't capable of making an even better offer? That's true, but if the senior members really do leave, we'll probably be out of here in no time as well. I heard that the board of directors all have really high hopes for the product. If the project was to go bankrupt, you can bet on layoffs coming our way. Hey, I better update my resume. I don't want to have to worry about my next job as I wait to collect my compensation and be laid off. Looks like Mr. Marius is still too inexperienced. It doesn't seem like he'll be able to pull the situation together. I wonder if the board of directors will get involved. The two employees are chatting up a storm and don't notice you and Marius at all. Marius' expression becomes more and more serious as their conversation intensifies. You plan on going over to interrupt them. It's fine, don't go. But it's already such a difficult situation. How could they say that you're... Marius pulls on your sleeves and whispers in your ear. It doesn't matter how they see me now. There will only be solid conclusions when the situation is taken care of. Besides, isn't that why we're here? Yeah, you're right. I think I just saw the personnel manager. Let's go talk to him. Okay. Master Marius, what's the progress on reaching out to them for further discussion? I'm sorry, Master Marius, we've truly run out of ideas. Everyone is refusing further communication. All we can do is use the company policy as an excuse to ask them to rewrite their letters of resignation. And even then, only one employee was willing to cooperate. What did he write on the new one? Most of it was still the same. There's just one extra line in the reasons for resignation. He said that you should think about what happened last month. Last month? A spark of stunned realization flashed across Mary's face and quickly fades. Did he just think of something? Marius, did anything big happen at PAX last month? If he mentioned last month, it probably has something to do with Tammy's law firm as well. With us? But I'm not sure yet. Marius seems to notice that he's not being very clear about what he's seeing, but he doesn't have definitive answers for you at the moment. After thinking about it for a while, he turns to the personnel manager. Did you send a new letter of resignation to Vincent? Yes, I've sent it. Okay, good work. Continue following up with the employees and try to open a line of communication. But don't use any of the contract or agreement clauses to threaten them. If you really can't find a way to get through to them, just leave it alone for now. When we have a plan to handle this, I'll have Vincent immediately get you caught up on it. Okay, we'll be on standby at the office. After seeing the personnel manager of Marius coincidentally turns back towards you just as you're about to ask him a question. I know what you want to ask, but let's return to the office first and see if Vincent spotted anything new. If things really are as I imagined, then the situation might be more dangerous than I originally thought. The organization in North Dallas pharmaceutical industries part aren't people you should carelessly mess with. Many of the people who have taken over that place are thugs with an appetite for money. After the lawsuit, many of the manufacturer's legal representatives who were arrested had prior convictions. However, all I was concerned about at the time was getting rid of the forces involved. I wasn't able to make sure I had taken care of all of them. If those stars really did return for revenge, then you could say I was the one that put my own employees in harm's way. You're not sure of what to say, however, you finally understand what he meant by danger. From an objective point of view, if Marius really did confront those people with a headstrong attitude and brought harm to his employees, it is understandable why he would be blaming himself now. But you did the right thing when faced with the counterfeiting companies. There was no way for you to know how far they would take it, so you wouldn't have been able to determine when and where to stop in the first place. You were just trying to protect your own rights within legal bounds. You can't blame yourself for their retaliation. This isn't the proper attitude for standing up for yourself. That's not what I'm talking about. Marius unexpectedly pushes you away a bit and gently lifts your face with both hands. I'm just afraid that they'll hurt my important employees or even hurt you. Me? Yes, in order to get back to me, they even find out who my core employees are. I'm just worried that they'll look into the attorneys working at Temis and find the person who means the most to me. If they're capable of going through my employees to throw punches at me, what if they get to you as well? Yeah, but if that does happen, you'll be there to protect me, right? Your sudden smile disrupt Mary's worries. Of course. Then it will be fine. You hold both Mary's hands and look firmly into his eyes. Regardless of what happened to everyone, what you need to do now is to give everything you've got to protect both me and your employees. I will also do everything I can to protect you. If we were together, all we have to do is find out the truth and settle it, then everything else will take care of itself, right? As you speak, you stand on your tiptoes and gently bump your forehead with Marius. A smile finally reappears on Marius' face, with some resignation though. However, if you are able to successfully convey your trust and confidence in him, you are certain it will support and help him focus at this moment. Actually, after the incident with Kenny, I can't stop feeling like there's a heavy weight on my shoulders. Those employees are extremely important to me. Not only have they created value for PAX, but they've watched PAX grow. They've watched how PAX has developed under me. So I'd rather those people direct their aggression at me. I'm the one responsible, and I'm the one they should go after. I don't want my employees to get involved. But you do have a point. He leans over and gently kisses your forehead. The tense and frustrating atmosphere that once filled the office is now gone. The air is now warmer, like the smile on his face. If I make my move now and quickly resolve the issue, my employees will be free from harm, and you will be safe. I have to get a move on. After all, no one's ever beaten me on my turf before. Right? So we should hurry up. Mary's phone vibrates and interrupts you. He looks down and discovers that it's a message from Vincent. The employees are here. Let's go talk to them. Okay. The two of you are on the move again. Marius seems to have rediscovered the confidence in his stride. This is the cheerful, carefree spirit that you've always been crazy about. Hi, are you here to process your resignation today? Yeah, what do... Mr. Marius? Hi, if possible, can you tell me the reason for your resignation? Sorry, I can't tell you. As a core employee working on the S.2 product, you should know how big of an effect this series of resignations will have on the project. If you've run into any trouble, Pax is more than willing to provide assistance. What you just say, a series of resignations? There are other people quitting as well. Wait, do you mean that the people on your team aren't aware that everyone else is quitting? I'm not sure. I haven't had the time to talk to anyone else. Too much has happened lately. I can't even keep my own head straight. But if it's happening to everyone, maybe we're experiencing the same difficulties. Okay, I suppose I can tell you a little bit. 2 days ago, a bunch of people came knocking on my door. The moment I opened the door, they forced their way inside. A bunch of people, do you know them? No, they were all extremely muscular and looked like thugs. After they entered, they called for my husband and son. They wouldn't let us leave, but they didn't lay a finger on us either. All they did was play poker and make a lot of noise in the house. My husband wanted to call the police, but they grabbed his phone and smashed it. They then slammed a stack of money on the table, said it was compensation, and then kept playing cards. What? That's breaking and entering as well as unauthorized deprivation of liberty. Yeah, but we didn't even have a way to call the police. All of them would surround us if we tried to make any moves. My 4-year-old son was terrified and crying, but they didn't care about any of that. They stayed for the entire weekend before leaving. They then wanted me to hurry up and get out of the city. And did you call the police afterward? I did, but they were very cautious and didn't leave the police much to go on. It's really hard to determine who they were. The police told us that they'll continue the investigation, but it will require time. But I really can't imagine having to experience another 48 hours like that again. So I've told you what I can. There's nothing I can do. Okay, I understand. Thank you. We'll try our best to take care of it as quickly as possible. Um, you guys have to give me an explanation. You approach to greet the employee but are startled by his loud voice and take half a step back. Marius quickly extends his hand and places it on your shoulder. He looks to be on the phone. We'll come back to him when he's finished. You're right. Just as you and Marius come to an agreement and are about to leave, the man's voice elevates again. Every day I go home after work, there's always graffiti on my door. First, it's my car, then the door to my home. I'm seriously considering quitting and moving into a different city. On top of that, you guys can't even manage to provide any surveillance tips. You guys charge a ton for property management fees. How do you even sleep at night? Graffiti? You look up at Marius with a surprised look on your face. You can see that he has also picked up the same bits of information as you have. Marius stops and turns around. Doesn't matter now. I've already called the police. You guys can't do anything right. Just wait. We'll deal with this once I'm settled. The employee hangs up the phone and looks your way with an angry gaze. What are you looking at? He pauses as he sees Marius. Ah, Mr. Marius, it's you. His words don't sound like a greeting. On the contrary, it sounds like he is absolutely furious. Are you here today to process your resignation? Yeah, I can't even go home now, thanks to you. I can't make the money that I'm supposed to be making either. It's making employees take the fall the way Pax deals with things. Pax would never let an employee take the fall for anything. There must be some kind of misunderstanding. Whatever, I don't care. They already left me a message. They said that I should talk to Pax and you, Mr. Marius, if I have any issues. I've done honest work all my life. I've never stepped on anyone's toes, and this is the kind of message they leave me. What are you guys trying to do here? Not even you can put up with listening to the man's remarks anymore. Just as you're about to reply, Marius presses down on your shoulder and looks at the man with a serious gaze. Is someone causing trouble in your life? Do you know who it is? No idea, but I'm moving away. You guys can settle on your own. The man speaks no more and leaves. How could he see that? Resentment grows when unfair mishaps happen in life. He's getting caught up in all of this is Pax's responsibility. He's having a hard time himself. So we really need to resolve the issue as soon as possible. I really hope we can find a way to solve this problem. Otherwise, Pax's reputation. Hello. Hi, can I help you? Huh? Mr. Marius? Although this employee is ready to resign, he still immediately stands up to greet Marius. It's okay, I'm just here to ask. Why you're resigning? Why I'm resigning? The employee pauses. It seemed he didn't expect the CEO of Pets to personally come and ask him about his reason for resigning. I'm quitting because I'm inheriting the family business. Inheriting the family business? Yeah, my family owns a desert factory. I have to return to take over once my father retires. Although I really wish I could continue chasing my dreams here, but I can't just toss away the family business. Are there any other reasons? Is everything else fine in your life, for example? Things are going pretty well. Oh, my car tire has been having a lot of trouble lately. I've had to visit the garage several times a week. Nothing else seems to be out of the ordinary. You and Marius exchange looks at one another. Neither of you feels like there's anything suspicious about the employee's tone or expression. Alright. I wish you the best of luck in your endeavors. I hope there will be an opportunity for us to work together again. That would be spectacular, Mr. Marius. From the looks of things, we can conclude that the employees ran into a bunch of thugs who are hostile towards Pax. It doesn't look like it can be directly connected to the people from North Stellis Pharmaceutical Industrial Park just yet. I'm almost certain that they are the ones behind this. Huh? Why is that? Did I miss out on a certain detail just now? Marius suddenly signals for you to shush as he glances across the room. Many employees have noticed you and Marius' presence. They're all whispering to one another while looking at the two of you. We should discuss the rest after returning to the office. President's office. After returning to the office, you bring up the question regarding the culprit once again. Were the damages to the Nostellis counterfeit companies really that severe? Yep, actually, it's probably a lot more than what you've imagined. It's pretty clear that the counterfeit companies are the ones responsible for based on the information gathered from before. However, there's still one question that continues to bother you. Why would they need to go so far out of their way and invest so many resources into targeting past employees? On the surface, the products sold by the counterfeit companies are cheap, low quality goods. Although they did have to pay PACS a large sum of money after losing the case, it's still not enough to warrant such a severe retaliation. So, in reality, their losses must have been much more significant after PACS defeated them in court. Did you go after them from a different angle as well? Yeah, you guessed right. Marius smiles. He pours a glass of warm water and brings it up to your lips. As for the reason for going after them, do you still remember the X-Point 2's product was true? I think it was inexpensive and high quality. Yes, the manufacturing cost for the X-Point was actually very high, making it difficult for the average person to afford one. That's why the second generation product started development so quickly. One of our goals is to expand our target users, and the other is it to quickly purge the market of cheap and low quality counterfeit products? Yep, it'd be fine if all they were trying to do was make money off counterfeit goods. In that case, tax, PR, and legal departments would just take care of them. But previously, there were many cases stating that people were getting repeat injuries from using counterfeit X-Bond products. I can't let them ruin Pac's brand like that. The purpose of the X-Bond's development is not so they can fill their pockets with blood-stained money. So not only did you sue and cause the companies to go bankrupt, you even worked with the police to upend an entire illegal counterfeit pharmaceutical industry, am I right? Yep, after the lawsuit that month, I met many of the distributors and cut off their sales channels. He's quick and resolute when it comes to things like this. Yeah, I would say you really backed them into a corner. It'd be likely that they'd want revenge after something like that. But this still doesn't explain why they would start with your employees. The best part about revenge is getting an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. The ultimate goal of dispersing Pax's employees is to ruin the H12's launch, but what if Pax was able to find suitable replacements? Miss, think about it. What kind of people would use threatening and intimidating tactics like this? They could simply use money to break apart my team or even get a lobbyist to do the job. Those methods would leave no trace. So why did they elect to use a method that would eventually catch the police's attention? Why would they do something like that? Because there are clearly more convenient and covert ways of handling it, but they chose to take the long route and use even more despicable methods. If that's the case, their most obvious goal would be they want to intensify their retaliation towards you. You mean to say that their goal is no longer just me, but also Pax and the other employees? After all, most of their factories have been shut down. They don't really have a way out. It's possible that they're taking it out on the Pax employees as well. You're right, it is possible. But after taking such a hard blow, they won't be able to regain their strength in such a short period of time and handle prolonged conflict with Pax. So I think if revenge is what they're after, their goal is probably something clear that will cripple us for good. A goal that is clear and will cripple you. You mean they want to ruin the development of the second generation product? Yes, we can even assume that their goal has a specific target. The upcoming press release, for example. If they wait until after the press release to make my employees leave, then everything they've done would be pointless. After the press release, the product will naturally enter its next stage of development. The date for hitting the market will be set and we'll have more than enough time to rehire. But if the core employees resign before the press release, PACs will naturally experience instability. Even if you were able to hold things together, the board of directors may not be fully supportive of you. But if you think about it that way, the core employees have already resigned prior to the press release and during PAX's key development period. Although things are happening exactly as you speculated, they're also moving along as the opponent expected. Isn't this a dead end? How can we fix this? Stress and frustration take over you. Your emotions are all over the place. A glass of warm water is shoved in your hand amidst your chaotic thoughts. You must be thirsty after talking for so long. Drink some water or your lips are going to start chapping. He smiles with confidence. It's as if everything's been taken care of and there is no need for further worries. Why are you suddenly so relaxed? Or was my analysis off just now? No, you were right. You were so on point that it made me feel a little uncomfortable. Marius walks over with a warm glass of water of his own and gently touches yours with it. His tone is light and gentle, seemingly trying to comfort your emotions. I'm just saying, your business sense is obviously just as good, if not better, than the old geezers on the board of directors. Are you sure you don't want to join me? We can rule the business world together. Do you really have to continue being a little attorney? Or could you be my personal assistant? That will work too. You just said that I was a big shot attorney just now. Besides, I'm quite satisfied with my job as an attorney. Ay, look like I've been given all the luck in the world to have you by my side, but it's seemingly still not enough. There you go, trying to make me smile again. You are well aware that Marius is trying to lighten your mood, but the light tone in his voice and the steam from the water glass are already enough to slowly comfort your emotions. You calm down after taking a sip of the warm water. You unleash your mind once again to quickly catch up to Marius' train of thoughts. So, what should we do next? Should we share the information with the police? Notifying the police is a must. Besides, if the other employees also contacted the police, it won't take long before they discover the overlapping clues. The problem right now is time. The press release is just around the corner. Aside from sharing information with the police, we have to move as fast as we can to calm the employees and convince the board of directors. That's going to be hard, isn't it? Don't worry, with you running around by my side for an entire day, I'm more motivated than ever to deal with the situation. Besides, it's just a race for time. I'm great at that. Mary's phone vibrates as he is speaking. Looks like Christmas came early this year. What is it? A copy of the North Stallions Factory's ledger. Their ledger? How did you get your hands on something like that? You heard about this from your seniors when you first entered the industry. Ledgers are like lifelines for factories with tainted backgrounds. Not only does the ledger record all of their cash flow, but it also includes the factory's entire network. The boss and legal representative of one of these counterfeit companies was thrown in jail, but their accountant was in charge. I've met him a couple of times before. When I asked him about how things are in North Dallas, he mentioned that he would like me to give his boss letter to the police. With the ledger, we'll have proof of the employees being targeted and hurt. Why don't I come with you? Just wait for me here. Marius quickly finds his car key in the drawer and walks over to kiss you on the cheek. The accountant doesn't want any unnecessary exposure. He asks to meet me alone. I've already agreed to his request. I should keep my word. We might be able to work together again in the future, right? But what if you run into danger? You'll be all alone. Los Angeles isn't a safe place. Don't worry, we're not meeting in Los Angeles. We're meeting at the Southeast Sally Street. It will take an hour and a half at most. I promise you I'll be back. I'll be looking forward to your thoughts when I get back. What thoughts? Your thoughts on an hour and a half of missing me? I might have some thoughts on how it only takes an hour and a half to break up. You really don't baby me anymore. You're even starting to hurt me on purpose now. Are you really the miss that I know? The one that loves and cares for me the most? I'm starting to suspect that you've developed an alternate personality. Before he can finish, the unspoken complaints are silenced as you hold his cheeks and seal his lips with yours. As you look into his eyes with a smiling gaze, your breath and gaze become tenderly entwined. When you let go of him and begin to back away, the tender entanglement suddenly pulls the two of you closer again. He presses down on your shoulders as the warm and moist sensation moves from the center to the edge of your lips and back again. Before letting go, he sucks on your lower lip in retaliation. Have you had enough? You seduce me first. He smirks and quickly pulls closer to you once again. You thought he wanted more. As you're about to back away, he simply grabs your wrist and gently pecks you on the edge of your lips. Everything will be taken care of when I return. Okay, fine, I'll be here counting the seconds and waiting for you. If you even live by just 1 minute, then you can do whatever you want to me. It's all up to you. Hurry and go! He nods and waves at you with a smile on his face before finally leaving the office. Things will finally come to an end, right? However, for some reason, a feeling of unease creeps up inside of you. You're feeling flustered as you reach for the glass next to you, hoping to suppress your anxiety. However, you accidentally knock over the glass instead. The leftover water inside of the glass spills across Marius' desk. You quickly locate the tissue in the room and dry up the spilled water. However, the feeling of unease remains and slowly begins to grow. President's office. Time continues to pass. It was supposed to be an hour and a half. By the time you realize it, it's already been 20 minutes past the agreed time. I hope nothing's gone wrong. I should give him a call. You take out your phone and call Marius. It takes nearly half a minute before Marius picks up the phone. Hello? What's up? What do you mean by what's up? We said an hour and a half. It has been almost 2 hours. Oh, sorry. Because of everything that's been happening, I spoke to him about a couple more things than I originally planned. Don't worry, I already got the ledger. I'm heading to the car to come back now. Okay, that's good. Drive safe, okay? Don't worry, everything is perfectly. He is suddenly interrupted. All you can hear is a heavy gasp from the other side of the call. Marius? Ah, Marius! After a muffled sigh, Marius seems to have fallen to the ground. The call falls silent. You yell with every fiber in your body into the receiver of the phone multiple times, but there is no response. What do I do? No, I have to think of a way to find him. Parking lot. After getting in touch with Vincent, the two of you bring along a few security guards and head to South East Sally Street as fast as you possibly can. It's all my fault. I was going to come with Mr. Marius, but he declined my request. I should have been more insistent. There's no time for that right now. We have to hurry and find Marius. Vincent, you and the security guard split up into two groups and search for him. I'll wait right here. Call me immediately when either of you finds him. I'll then notify the others to meet up. There's barely anyone in the quiet parking lot. It isn't until Vincent and the security guards begin to scour the place that it finally fills with a bit of life. Marius, please be alright. You pray as you nervously look around, hoping for a cheer from one of the people looking for Marius to signal that he's been found. However, after just a few seconds, a thud of something heavy hitting the ground can be heard not far behind you. You turn around and look closely at the narrow spaces between the cars. It doesn't take long for you to notice someone lying on the ground between the two cars on the third row. Is that? Although it's still a slight distance away, you do your best to identify the clothes the fallen person is wearing. It's the same color as what Marius was wearing when he left. Your speeding thoughts and pain urge you to charge toward him without any consideration. However, just as you take the first step, the sliver of rational thought remaining in your mind pushes you back. Could that sound just now be a trap? But if that really is Marius, I can't just stand here and wait. After evaluating all the possibilities, you call Vincent and tell him your location before slowly making your approach. You quickly make your way through the cars, looking for one that has the unique color of Mary's car. However, after running just for a few meters, you suddenly slow down. You stop, and the sound of footsteps behind you also stops. After a few more steps, the sound of footsteps begins to quickly close in again. You quickly turn around but find no one in the long and empty lane. No, I'm sure I heard right. Someone's here. You hesitate whether to run or call for security for no more than just half a second. However, in that half a second, a heavy and cross breath approaches you from behind. Who's there? Ah! A strong man wearing a black baseball cap and a face mask covers your mouth and presses you on the hood of the car next to you. Ah! He doesn't seem to plan on talking to you. All he does is signal for you to be quiet in an eerie way. Ah! You try to fight back with everything you've got, but you're unable to break free from his tight grip. In the chaos, the sound of a loud yell can be heard in the distance. You're so flustered that you're unable to determine where the sounds come from or what it meant. The dark and cold smile in his eyes chills you to the bone. The yelling from afar sounds again. You are able to hear the voices better this time. It seems to be coming from the security guards. However, your nerves are wound up so tight that no extra information can be processed. All you can see is the chilling gaze in the eyes of the person in front of you. He lifts out the metal pipe in his hand. You shiver and shut your eyes. The suffocating fear at this moment is more frightening than anything. As his hand that is covering your mouth grips tighter, you know that swing of the metal pipe is coming your way. Suddenly, fumbling footsteps can be heard charging your way with the fury of a storm. Ah! Huh? The metal pipe falls to the ground and makes a crisp sound. Fresh air enters your lung once again. After a brief moment of dizziness, you finally make out the figure before you. He's bleeding from his head and wearing a ferocious expression that you've never seen before. However, he seems to have used up all his remaining strength as he tackled the culprit. Marius? Marius, are you okay? Marius' body gives in and he falls into your arms. He tries his best to lift up his head after hearing your voice. After a brief look at your face, he seems to have finally relaxed. The ferocious look on his face dissolves into a relieved smile. I promise you that I do everything to protect you. I always do, but I promise. I was really cool, wasn't I? His head then tilts to the side and he loses consciousness. Mihara, Master Maris. The atmosphere begins to fill with noise as the first security guard arrives. Vincent runs frantically toward the two of you. The police are also here and have detained the culprit that attacked you. However, none of the commotion around you seems to grab hold of your attention. All your concern is about is Marius, who's bleeding from the head and unconscious right now. Marius! Marius! Marius' bedroom. After a few days of rest, Marius is nearly fully recovered. Of course, that includes both the exterior injuries and your temperature and wounds are both fine. Do you still feel dizzy? What is it? Why aren't you responding? Marius doesn't reply. Instead, he looks at you with a bitter look. I feel dizzy, very dizzy. He moves the hand you've placed on his hair right down to his cheek, as if to prove what he just said. See, I can't even see properly without you helping me. Really? I really am dizzy. I need at least 5, no, 6 company reports to feel better. You let out a long breath of surprise and surprise the explosive impulse inside of you. You put away your phone, look at him, and take back the hands he's holding. You then pinch his cheeks and pull them in opposite directions. Wow, it hurts! Are you still feeling dizzy? I'm good now. I'm cured of everything. I'm in perfect shape. After playing around for a while, he grabs your hands and holds you in his arms. I'm just messing with you. See how one up you are every day? I would be really sad if you were to collapse as I get better. Yeah, but that's all because of you. Have you heard the boy who cried wolf? I'm sorry, I won't do it again. 3 days ago at the hospital. After watching the doctor leave, you sit by the bed as Marius clutches onto your hand. He is immersed in the joy of not having been dumped. Do you want some water? I'll go get some for you. No, just stay right here and let me look at you a little longer. You'll have all the time in the world to look at me. I told you, I'll always be by your side. Forever and ever? Yes, forever and ever. Then can you take a few more days off and go on a vacation with me? You know, get some fresh air? Of course. Oh, and I heard that many restaurants are introducing new dishes. How about we try one out every day starting next week? Next week, but we have to wait until you're recovered. You just said that you'd be by my side forever and ever. Seeing the disappointed look on his face, you have no choice but to give in. Fine. The hospital room door suddenly opens and a man walks in with fast strides. Before the two of you can react, he comes to a quick stop and turns around to leave the room. Sorry, I forgot to knock. It's fine, come in. Vincent seems to be burdened with hesitation. As he turns back around, he behaves as if his feet have been nailed to the floor. It's fine, come on in. Yes, Master Marius. Oh, I should speak to Vincent about what he has to do next. In Marius' current state, he's definitely not going to be able to make the press release in a few days, let alone deal with those shrewd geezers on the board of directors. His father and brother aren't here either. What should we do? Vincent, how are things outside? You aren't able to react fast enough at first. You can't help but come to a pause as you hear the calm words coming from his mouth. The disappointment, sadness, and weakness that just filled the hospital room is suddenly nowhere to be found. A strange cloud of suspicion slowly rises. Yes, the person eavesdropping outside has already left. Eavesdropping? What are you talking about? The bad guy is eavesdropping on our conversation. You look at Marius in total shock. He looks to be back with his casual, cocky smile. The depression and disappointment from earlier were seemingly just an act. But don't worry, both of us were very convincing. I see you is suffering from mental trauma and just rescued his relationship with his loved one. I'm guessing whoever's eavesdropping should be satisfied with that. You are the trauma! You immediately understand what just happened. The breakup, memory loss, and the strange lottery number. Marius von Hagen? Good thing you were seriously injured or lost your memories. Obviously, at first you were angry that you were kept in the dark. But after Marius and the police explained all the details to you, your anger completely turns into worry. You sit back down on the bedside after handing Marius a glass of warm water and his medication. So, you and the police put on a show to catch the person who attacked us? Yep, after all, we were lacking evidence to back up our previous theory. We didn't have a way of finding the bad guys behind it all either. After talking to the police, I decided to use the ledger to lure them out of their case. However, not everything went according to plan. They were able to pin me down due to a blind spot in our plan. He swallows the medicine with force, as if to swallow his dissatisfaction and anger. He must find it frustrating for someone to find a vulnerability in his plan, but even so, he still remains calm and kind when he speaks to you. But your plan worked in the end. The police were able to capture the attacker and we got the ledger. But I'm actually worried about the eavesdropper. Is it really okay not to catch him right here and now? Yep, besides, it's not time to capture him yet. After putting down the glass, Marius leans in and holds you with one arm. He then grabs your hand and interlocks his fingers with yours. After a slight pause, your fingers become tightly entwined. I told Vincent at the very beginning that if the other side isn't showing clear signs of aggression and if we're unable to ensure total security in a hospital, then we should avoid conflict in a place like this. We need to avoid injuring innocent people. Besides, we've been thinking of ways to deal with their punches instead of going directly after them. This is why they feel like they can do whatever they want. Now it's our turn to catch the big fish. Catch the big fish. Marius' bedroom. By catching the big fish, do you mean to find the person behind everything through the person who was eavesdropping? Yes. He lets go of your hand and reaches for the cell phone on the nightstand. Captain Morgan got me up to speed on everything just a few days ago. He said that although the attacker gave up his employer, there were no records of communication between them and the money never arrived either. Even though the person is his employer, he's nothing but a low-level grunt from the North Established Pharmaceutical Industrial Park. Always going after the little guys will only make things even more complicated. So the police decided that they were going to let the eavesdropper go this time and use him to lure out the person responsible for all of this. And you guys decided to put on a show in front of him as misdirection for when he released what he heard to the others. You finally understand what he's trying to do. You think back on Marius telling everyone that he was ill and wasn't seeing anyone when he actually only suffered minor injuries. You didn't leave the room at all for the following few days either, even skipping out on returning to the company to take care of things. After such a big commotion, what you intended on doing was to make your illness a reality. You nailed it. I told the police a while ago that there was no need to keep you out of the loop on an operation like this. If someone with your clear sense of logic was around, maybe the plan would have been even more perfect. By now, they should be convinced that their plan has worked. They should be getting ready to wrap things up. He opens the trending news on his phone and shows it to you. Pax X12 press release in danger of cancellation. X12 skyrocketing price. Are they starting their smear campaign against Pax? Yes, after getting rid of the counterfeit products, lower priced X1 products basically vanished from the market. Ordinary people don't have access to the counterfeit versions and aren't offered lower priced second generation products. They will naturally start to criticize Pax and accuse us of earning money through unethical means. All they have to do is pay for a few trending news slots and the public opinion will begin to sway. It's already starting to cause quite an effect. These two trending topics are still getting more popular. It's going to be hard to salvage the situation from here, right? This kind of speculation isn't big enough to affect facts too much yet. All these problems will take care of themselves if we're able to resolve the main issue in the next couple of days. He smiles with great confidence and swipes his finger twice across his phone. He then shows you a series of video conference records. The first day after returning home, I had a series of meetings with the board of directors. It did take quite a bit to convince them, but the good news is that no one was against me this time. The press release preparations are also still proceeding in near complete secrecy. You did all that in secret these past couple of days? Although you were taking care of Marius the whole time, he was only able to look at various materials in bed due to how weak he was from his injury. You didn't expect he was able to organize so much work while you weren't paying attention. He always makes it sound so easy when he talks about stuff like this. He's never willing to let people around him see the amount of work he really puts in. Well then, it seems that most of the company stuff that needs to be taken care of recently has all been done, right? You haven't fully recovered yet, and we need to make sure you get enough rest. It's not time for that yet. Marius' phone suddenly vibrates. A look of realization appears on his face as he looks down at the notification on the screen. None of their retaliation against Beck's army would be a problem. Anything goes when it comes to business. But they dare to set their eyes on you. Marius clenches his jaw as he utters the last few words. At that moment, you shudder from the fear you felt when you were pinned down on the hood of the car with the metal pipe raised above your head. Marius quickly notices your behavior and holds you even tighter. The burning sensation of his breath sears your skin. You wet your dry lips and reach out to touch Mary's face that buried in your neck. You both know that their attack on Marius was for retaliation and to retrieve the ledger that could be used as evidence. However, the attack on you was not in the original plan. It just so happens that Marius was on the phone with you at the moment. After learning about the phone call, they included you as a part of their revenge. These thugs, they really are despicable. At the time, I saw you when I regained a part of my senses. The only thought in my mind at the time was that if the pipe had hit you, that moment would have been the end of my life. I regret that I wasn't harsh enough from the very beginning. I should have been thinking of how I was going to get rid of them from the very start. I knew from the jump that they were scum. They don't care about other people's life and are only after money. But even then, I didn't finish the job. But aren't we working on bringing all of them to justice right now? You reach out and press your hand against Mary's neck, closing the distance between the two of you while letting him feel the determination in your heart. We're exposed while they hid in the dark. If their plans have no boundaries and we're going after them, it's expected for certain issues to take place. Now, we need to return the pain and suffering they've brought upon all of us and make them think it's over in jail. So stop blaming yourself, okay? We still have very, very important things to do. The violent heartbeat resonating from his back softens. You can feel Mary's finally calming back down. He then slowly lets go of you. You're right, we do have important things to take care of soon. If we can take care of what comes next, we will be able to bring all of them to justice. What comes next? A knock comes from the door before you can finish your question. Master Marius, Captain Morgan is here and waiting for you in the living room downstairs. Okay, I'll be right there. Why is Captain Morgan? Did he find something new? Yes. Marius shows you the message he just received on his phone. From the group of indicted counterfeit companies, they've narrowed the scopes that are capable of getting to me and harassing my employees to a very small range. I sent the police the most recent batch of leads this morning. They should be able to pinpoint the culprit in no time. Let's go talk to Captain Morgan and find out what's new. The Von Hagen estate. Darius Morgan is waiting for the two of you as you arrive in the living room. Thanks for making the trip, Captain Morgan. It's fine. How are you? How are your injuries? Darius Morgan raises his head slightly, gesturing to the wound on Marius' head. I'm okay. I should be thanking them for allowing me to survive the attack. Good. After a short chat, Darius Morgan shares the reason for his visit. The criminal who attacked you shared some more information with us yesterday during the interrogation. After further investigation, we discovered a key person involved is also related to the counterfeit case that we worked on last time. Darius Morgan takes out a file from the satchel placed on the sofa. He flips it open and shows the two of you the first page. Troy Keynes. Do you know this person? Marius remains silent for a moment and shakes his head. I have an idea of all the core personnel and legal representation in the factories, but I don't recall this person being involved with the case. That's true, but only from the surface. It's also true that we didn't have to process him in the incident. However, based on our investigations, we've recently discovered that Troy Keynes is the core individual behind the group of counterfeit pharmaceutical factories. No wonder our lawsuit went so smoothly. It's because the real culprit cut his losses and ran. Seems like this Troy Keynes person really knows how to protect himself. That's right. Troy Keynes is not a person with a grand vision, so even though he operates from the shadows, the success of his businesses can only be seen as mediocre at best. However, he does have some tricks of his own when it comes to self-preservation. The police have probably been investigating someone like Troy Keynes since the very beginning, right? But with the counterfeit products and everything that's been going on at PAX, you haven't had a way to arrest him. Could it be that he's never slipped up even with all that's happened? Not entirely so. Darius Morgan takes out another file from the satchel. He doesn't open it, but shows you the words on the cover, Financial Investigation. Something will eventually surface if there are any illegal or non-compliance activities connected to the money that he has earned. The investigative team has actually been on his tail for quite some time. They've also gathered a large amount of evidence. However, we're still waiting for key evidence that will put him away for the rest of his life. So the key to the problem is still time. It's true whether it's the employees, Pax's product, or citizens who are faced with danger at any time. No one can afford to wait any longer. Darius Morgan doesn't respond immediately. However, a confident smile appears on Marius' face after a brief moment of thought. So, it seems like I need to work with the police and make some moves of my own. Huh? Because cases often requires the cooperation of multiple parties. Don't worry, an upstanding citizen like me will definitely do everything I can to cooperate with the police. Does this mean you guys are going to work together? Darius Morgan nods and looks at you with a stern expression. I'm very sorry, but that would mean I can only discuss what comes next with Marius alone. Oh, okay, I'll go back to the law firm then. Marius Law Firm. You've taken time off after your lunch break every day recently to stay on top of how Marius is doing. But today, due to Darius Morgan being here, you're able to make it back to the firm before the break ends. Huh? What are you doing back here? Everything okay at home? Yeah, it's finally starting to look better. That's great to hear, but things really are getting chaotic out there. I just heard the senior saying if we don't sue the pharmaceutical industrial park to the ground, no one will be able to find proper medical treatment. The pharmaceutical industrial park, did something happen to them? Last month, after Pack sued the factories, the counterfeit pharmaceutical products became the topic that everyone was talking about at the firm. But someone brought it up again today. Did something happen with the industrial park? Kiki tells you to wait as she gets up and goes through the public files area. She soon returns with a file. This is it. We didn't actually take this case. Vault Legal Office did. However, the client sent over this information and said they have other cases they'd like to discuss in a few days. Let me take a look at the files first. Huh? Troy Keynes? The name Troy Keynes written as the defendant immediately catches your attention. They're suing him for trademark infringement, design infringement, and creative infringement. Why are there so many infringement accusations? And also, you take a look at the number of documents. In terms of an infringement case, the number of documents provided here isn't even sufficient for a single infringement accusation. There are too little material in here. We won't be able to go to court with this. That's what the senior member said. The plaintiff seems to be more interested in harassment than actually going to court. If it's purely for harassment, this method seems to be much less crafty than what Troikans would do. You flip to the first page of the files and carefully read the name of the plaintiff. Joseph Brightwood. Kiki, do you have any recollection of this person? No, he's never been to the law firm before. However, I heard that he's in the pharmaceutical field and has a lot of influence. He's also related to the pharmaceutical. Could he be one of Troy Ken's competitors? You want to find out more, but the amount of materials is much more limited than you imagined. However, since Tamis didn't take the case, Joseph Brightwood will no longer be sending any additional evidence. Seems like there is only limited information here. I should give the files back to Kiki and find another way to handle this. Kiki, I've looked over the materials. Do I need to return it to the file room? Kiki doesn't respond. Instead, she shows you her phone with the newest trending topics notification on it. What is that? Huh? The 10th trending topic says that PAX has decided to work with various vendors for the manufacturing of their second generation products. On top of that, two of the companies included are ones that PAX sued previously. What's going on? What is PAX doing? I don't know. Is this the plan that Darius Morgan and Marius came up with after their lengthy conversation? You quickly take out your phone and call Marius. Hello? Marius, what's going on with the trending topics? You and Darius, what did you guys end up deciding to do? Oh, you already know. Good, I was worried that the message wouldn't be able to spread fast enough. Hurry and tell me what's going on. Don't worry, I've spoken to the police about everything that we're doing. These are decisions that I've made after thoroughly thinking them through. However, it might be better if I explain it to you in person. Can you come over right now? I'll wait for you at home. I can fill you in on all the details. Okay, I'm on my way. The Von Hagen estate. Marius! Darius Morgan had already left by the time you got back to the Von Hagen estate. Marius is waiting for you in the living room. You look flustered. Come on, sit down and I'll pour you a glass of hot water. No, that's not important. You try to control your heavy breathing after rushing here and look at Marius with urgency. I know that you must have gone through this with Captain Morgan, but what's the purpose of doing this? Pike's working with the counterfeit factories that it sued before. Wouldn't that make the public opinion of Pike's even worse than what it is right now? Miss, slow down. You need to breathe. I know you're worried about me, but allow me to slowly break it down for you. Marius pushes you through the sofa and makes you sit down. He then gives you a glass of warm water and tells you that to have a drink first. You have no choice but to take a sip of the warm water. Although your throat is feeling better, the worries still remain. First, let me tell you a semi-confidential piece of information. The manufacturing pressure that Pikes is facing regarding the S12 is actually pretty severe. It just so happens that the factories we recently sued are equipped with sufficient manufacturing power. All that's missing is our authorization. On top of that, they are facing incredible cash flow pressure, so working with them will be able to resolve the immediate fires that both of us are facing. But aren't they factories that produce inferior products? The ones I've contacted have never produced any inferior products. The materials and designs that they use match the specifications. All that's missing is Pax's authorization. So when we went after them, it was actually about copyright infringement. Working with them in the short time to relieve our current situation is an option. After all, Marius pushes a file on the coffee table toward you. We can't let Troy King succeed in running the entire industrial park, can we? The best case scenario is to be able to have some of his supporters side with us instead. This is information on the factory specs is going to be working with. You take a detailed look at the files. None of the factory's lawsuit files contain anything regarding secondary damage cases. It also experienced they do have sufficient manufacturing power. If they can work together in manufacturing the second generation products, their experience with producing the first generation will definitely also come in handy. Most importantly, if they only work with Troy Kings, they will only ever be able to make money off knockoff products. And if they choose to lead Pax's way, they will be given more opportunities. I see. So you're planning on using this investment to court the factories that were previously under Troy King's management? By doing that, not only is there a possibility of the executives at those factories siding with you, but if everyone knows Beck is in immediate opposition to Troy Keynes and isn't planning on going after anyone except him, then maybe Pax will win over even more support to fight against Troy Keynes. Yep, that's my plan, and everything seems to be going quite smoothly right now. People may think that the hardest part of this is for me to check my ego and work with these smaller manufacturers. However, our goal is to solve problems and do a good job. I honestly don't care about any of that. That's true, but you're still worried as you think about what Troy Keynes is capable of. This is a huge risk. What if Troy Keynes goes after you again? What if he sends people to attack you again? Don't worry, the police will provide protection for me in this plan. We might even get someone who will surprise our opponents and come to our aid. And with that, Mary's phone vibrates as a call comes in. Marius looks at the caller's number and chuckles. Speaking of the devil, who is it? It's a new lobbyist that we're working with. As for what we're going to be working on this time, well, it will be related to getting rid of Troy Keynes. Marius picks up the phone and puts it on speaker mode. Hello, are you looking to talk about our partnership, Mr. Joseph Brightwood? Joseph Brightwood? The Von Hagen estate. The result of the phone call is a meeting between Marius and Joseph Brightwood in North Dallas 2 hours later. You seem to have an idea of Joseph Brightwood's agenda through what he said during the phone call. Sounds like he was hoping to threaten you with his cooperation in arresting Troy Keynes and make you agree to a verbal agreement. Over the phone. Good thing you didn't leave any weak spots in what you said. Yep, I've heard a little about this Joseph Brightwood character. He's now in control of more resources than Troy Keynes. Brightwood has the ability to completely get rid of Troy Keynes. However, Joseph Brightwood feels that taking down a leader of the pharmaceutical industrial part would be even more profitable. So, making a fortune by working with banks would be the best choice for him in a time like this. I'll naturally have to keep my guard up against him. I also went through a ton of materials regarding Joseph Brightwood's attempts to sue Troy Keynes at the firm today. I was curious why he would go after Troy Keynes in such a tedious way, but now I understand. He's just waiting for the highest bidder to make an offer for the evidence he has. Haha, you're amazing. You nearly saw through all of Joseph Brightwood's plan from just a few prosecution documents. But as for whether the evidence is sufficient to be beneficial to both me and Joseph Brightwood, we'll have to see how the meeting goes. After that, Marius gets up and prepares to leave. You bite down on your lip as you look at the location of his injuries on the back of his head. Marius, let me go with you this time. Even though the police are there to protect you, it still makes me worried. Besides, it's a negotiation, right? You'll need an attorney there to help you if there are a ton of clauses to go through. I know, that's why I plan on taking you with me from the start. Huh? After Marius gets everything he needs, he reaches out his hand to reach you as if to invite you to accompany him. You said before that running a company is my specialty, and going to court is yours. What I'm walking into now is a combination of the two. His tone suddenly deepens. This isn't the usual tone he speaks in when he's joking around with you. Every word he speaks at this moment is filled with trust and reliance. I really need you right now. He gently places his forehead on your shoulder as his arms hang onto your waist. Due to his straightforwardness, All you can feel in this moment that should have been filled with intimacy is the warmth the two of you are trying to pass on to one another. I know, I really hope this will put an end to it all. North Daly Street. Okay, I've sent the location and details to Captain Morgan. After he sends the last message to the police, Marius places the cell phone back in his pocket and prepares to venture even deeper into the crisis with you by his side. The streets of North Salis are desolate as usual. You look around and can't help but raise your head to ask questions. Didn't the police say they'll be protecting you? Why does it feel like you and I are the only people here? This was also part of the plan. With Joseph Brightwood's abilities, he would have definitely done his homework prior to such an important and secretive meeting. At the very least, the police wouldn't have been able to pretend to be my assistant or secretary. Otherwise, the courtesy of the negotiation would have been trampled upon. So, you speak with a quieter voice and pose the question by nearly just moving your lips. How will the police confirm the details of the negotiation process? Marius doesn't respond and gently squeezes the corner of his shirt. You immediately understand. A listening device is probably hidden inside the corner of his shirt. With my understanding of Joseph Brightwood, he'll definitely be quick about showing me their contract in an attempt to turn the tables on me. I'll be giving the contract to you. All you need to do is glance over the area regarding profit sharing. I need you to see if they're asking for more than 20%. If it's over 20%, then I'll be able to negotiate. Oh, okay. Hey, wait, shouldn't you be the one who looks over anything that has to do with profit sharing? As an attorney, your job is to assist him in confirming the contents of each clause in the contract. Profit sharing is more of a business related thing. Because I'm almost 100% certain that he'll try to make a fortune of Pax through this deal. So all you need to do is slam the contract back on the table and act super cool, and I'll take care of the rest. I see. So what you're trying to do is to have me play along to look cool. No, I'm the one who's supposed to look cool, but after some thought, you slamming the table in the courtroom is just too mesmerizing. Yes. Okay, I was just joking. It's just that you look nervous, so I was afraid you'd break character later. Don't worry, Joseph Brightwood won't become hostile at the negotiation table. We'll definitely be safe. I really need you to do it. It's about creating a stronger presence at the negotiation. To be honest, that old man still does have seniority over me. If we don't establish a strong presence, I'll be at a disadvantage from here on out. That's true. Having a strong presence at negotiations is something we find very important as well. Well, then, I leave myself in your hands. I understand. Just leave that part to me. Family restaurant. This restaurant on the roadside of Nostalgia seems to be doing well. However, neither of you saw any customers inside it before entering. As you walk to the back of the restaurant, you spot an old man waiting well. He is resting his eyes and his head is tilted down. A young man is standing beside him. From his posture, he looks to be the old man's secretary. It seems like they went ahead and cleared out the restaurant. You and Marius remain side by side as you approach the old man. Marius then greets him. Mr. Brightwood. Joseph Brightwood responds to Mary's gentle greeting. He doesn't throw his wig around and looks up to smile at the two of you. You must be Master Marius from Pax. Well, what a talented and handsome young fellow you are. And this is... Joseph Brightwood slowly turns towards you. Hi, I'm Mr. Van Hagen's legal counsel. After hearing your introduction, Joseph Brightwood raises his brows as he sizes you up. He then smiles from the edge of his lips. I see, legal counsel, also young and established. Please sit down. You glance at Marius to find that he is without reaction. He remains still and continues to look at Joseph Brightwood. Both of you can hear the meaning hidden within Joseph Brightwood's words. Even though it's the first time meeting, he is still able to see through your plan of covering up certain details with your cover as an attorney. Mr. Brightwood, you flatter me. I'm guessing those who have the honor of talking business with you here are all elites in their own fields. However, we are running on a tight schedule today. Is it possible for us to get right to the main topics at hand? The two exchange only a few words and the air begins to fill with tension. But you are also aware that there is nothing inappropriate with what Marius is doing. Although Pax is far bigger than the businesses that Joseph Brightwood runs, it is Pax who needs the support of Joseph Brightwood today. On top of that, Marius is still young, and Joseph Brightwood has seniority over him when it comes to business. If you are to win in this negotiation, your presence must be made known from the very start. But Joseph Brightwood probably won't go along with it so easily, right? After all, this isn't something he can lightly surrender ground on either. As expected, Joseph Brightwood doesn't plan on immediately starting the discussion. Young and vigorous, that's what I like about motivated young men who take quick action like you. He turns around and calls for his secretary. Bring the menu over. Let's make our order first. You know, I've negotiated quite a number of deals in this restaurant over the last decade. Not only is it quiet here, but your food is top class. The secretary brings over the menu, whereas hand the binder to you without a single glance. Miss Ferrara, please review the documents first. Okay, Mr. Van Hagen. Everything is going as the two of you planned. You immediately take the binder without saying anything else. After opening it, you discover a contract as expected. Just as suspected, Joseph Brightwood is asking for 30% in profit sharing. He's seriously planning on making a fortune off of Pax. Even you would have to restrain yourself from laughing after seeing a contract like this. You can't imagine what Marius would think. You close the contract and place it on the table. You then smiles at Joseph Brightwood. I'm sorry, but it doesn't seem like the food here suits us. We still have an arrangement with other acquaintances in a moment. I'm afraid we won't be able to try the cuisine here. Joseph Brightwood narrows his eyes. Are you really in such a hurry? Mr. Brightwood, I'm sure you know about that better than we do. But on the contrary, Marius presses down on the menu binder and pushes it toward Joseph Brightwood. If this menu was reviewed personally by you, Mr. Brightwood, and we are ultimately unable to find a single dish we find fitting, would I be right in saying that you, Mr. Brightwood, never intended on making this meal a feast for both the host and the guest? There are no disrespect in Marius' words as he speaks with a laughing tone. However, Joseph Brightwood is unable to overlook the coldness in his words. Regardless of how great of an actor he is unable to hide emotions in his eyes. It's not because he is intimidated, it's most likely because he never expected Marius, the youngest of the Von Hagen family, to be someone he couldn't get a handle on. If the food I've selected for the two of you isn't to your taste, why don't we slow down and set it aside for a moment? Mr. Von Hagen, you seem well poised for our discussion. I assume you've gathered information from all angles. Well then, why don't we both be frank? I was hoping we could do that. Marius leans back into the chair and looks at Joseph Brightwood with a calm gaze. To my knowledge, a few of the factories working with you would have no problems manufacturing the X.2. However, will you be able to ensure the readiness of the majority of the machine tool operators when we start mass production? It's not Joseph Brightwood's core technicians have also been driven away by Troy Kent. Looks like this is something Troy Kent have been doing for some time. No wonder Joseph Wright would come to Marius so quickly. Joseph Brightwood's expression changes immediately after Marius finishes speaking. He no longer looks as calm as before. His secretary off to the side begins to speak. Mr. Von Hagen, we wouldn't worry about them. They're just workers with slightly more experience. We can hire more of them with ease. However, core staff of the research team would be much harder to find in comparison. You're right about that. And with that, Mary stands up. But technicians who are hired on the spot would need time to familiarize themselves with the procedure and the production itself. Alex has a very strict manufacturing standard. We don't find it necessary to work with partners like this. He is posturing to leave. You are certain that he has more aces up his sleeves. You stand up after him without taking another glance at the menu on the table. Mr. Von Hagen. Mary stops. It may take a little time to get used to the procedure, but if the second generation product is delayed, it may be delayed indefinitely. Can you and Pat really afford to wait that long? Marius turns around and looks at Joseph Brightwoods with a ridiculing gaze. Of course, we can afford to wait even longer than that. You may not know this, but unfortunately, I'm quite experienced at catching moles. You thought you knew what cards I was holding walking into this negotiation. However, in reality, you have no idea. Marius takes out his phone and taps the screen a few times, then shows the trending topics page to Joseph Brightwood and his secretary. The first on the trending topics list is a link to the pre-registration of Beck's Response 2 product press release live stream. And the second is the police plan for an open investigation of the Celis Pharmaceutical Industrial Park. You've already gone that far? Of course, I'm not a person who sits around and waits to die. Being prepared even when wounded and in bed, completing his tasks even when he was struggling and in pain. Because of all of that, Marius is well prepared and able to apply pressure on those who look down on him. He would not sit and wait to die. Even in a situation when he's near defeat, he would reorganize and rally to fight until the end. We will find a way to continue development after the product's press release. And it's all thanks to you that Troy Kent has been exposed. The police can now openly investigate instead of having to make private visits. Then, what is the purpose of you coming here to talk to us about a partnership? It's just as you said, you can take care of all of your problems. Could it be that you're here to simply mock us? Joseph Brightwood seems to have lost all of his composure in this defeat. but it would be beneath his dignity to act hysterical due to the total defeat. Joseph Brightwood is obviously aware of that and frowns as he orders his secretary to back down. You stand in front of Marius and press down on the menu as his negotiation attorney. We could, but we will refuse an offer that allows us to resolve the situation in a more efficient manner. We are also willing to give you the opportunity. If you provide the information that we need to resolve the issue faster, followed by a partnership, it will be a win for both of us. So, you open the menu and push it toward Joseph Brightwood. Will you please edit the profit sharing and sales clause to reflect a partnership rather than exclusion? And with that, both sides have fully removed their disguises. Now that everything is in the open, Joseph Brightwood's secretary is incapable of making any more excuses. All she's able to do now is to wait for Joseph Brightwood's final decision. However, Joseph Brightwood simply glances at the menu with a calm eye. We may have made a fool of ourselves. Joseph Brightwood closes the menu without showing any extra emotions and hands it to his secretary off to the side. Then signals the secretary with his keys. The secretary nods, takes out a flash drive from her pocket and hands it to Marius. With this, your problem should be swiftly resolved. As for the partnership, when the new contract is ready, I will personally make the trip over to discuss its detail with you, Mr. Van Hagen, and you, Miss Ferrara. Marius places the flash drive in his pocket and gives Joseph Brightwood a very clear response. Of course, I will greet anyone who genuinely wishes to do business with Pax with the utmost sincerity. Marius then looks at you. Let's go. Yes. As you turn to exit the restaurant, you catch another glance of the expression on Joseph Brightwood's face. He doesn't look angry or unwilling as you were expecting. Instead, there is only a peaceful expression and admiration. This is probably the real reason why Troy Keynes is going to lose to Pax and Joseph Brightwood. Coffee shop. Darius Morgan and a few police officers have been waiting in a cafe nearby. However, they've actually been listening in on the entire conversation thanks to the wire that Marius was wearing. They quickly walk over to receive the two of you with smiles on their faces. Well done, that was great. I'm glad to be of help. The rest is up to you guys. This should be the complete version of the ledger. If you need anything else, don't hesitate to call me anytime. Marius removes the flash drive and the wire and hands it to Darius Morgan. Still recovering from his wound, tending to this series of events has exhausted too much of Marius' energy. After a short chat, the two of you part ways with Darius Morgan and head home. Nostalgia Street. Marius yawns deeply at the moment the two of you step outside. You must be really tired. Let's go back and get a good night's sleep. Yeah, I'm exhausted. Seeing the fatigue on his face, you can't help but feel an ache in your heart as you grab hold of his arm. Good thing it's all finally been taken care of. You can now focus on resting. You can't push yourself and work as hard as you did in the past, okay? Okay, I'll do whatever you say. You're in charge. He grips the hand that you have wrapped around his arms and speaks with the intimate tone you're so familiar with. However, he remains silent as the two of you continue walking. He looks to have something on his mind. I think he looks a little depressed. Is there something else on his mind? After walking for another block, he almost trips over a small gravel step on the side of the road. After frantically holding him and preventing him from falling, you can't help but raise the question. Marius, is something bothering you? No, your mind's been somewhere else the entire week. You have to tell me if something you can't wrap your head around or if you're having any trouble. He finally smiles helplessly after a brief pause. I just can't hide anything from you, can I? Actually, I still can't get over it. I believe I was right and had thought it through when I told you. He seems to want to scratch his head, but he drops his arm as his fingers find the bandage instead. But in reality, I seriously don't want someone like Joseph Brightwood to be anywhere near Pax, let alone a spawn. Even though I sounded quite righteous when I said it before, once the dust has settled, I feel like the scale of justice inside me swayed gently. It's small, but it's a terrible feeling. You knew it. Marius' sense of justice will always be the part of him that attracts you the most. He has what most ordinary people lack, but he's never proud. He sits where most of will never reach, but he never discriminates. On the contrary, he has always been thoughtful of others and has always safeguarded the innocence of everything he treasures. You find it extremely hard to accept that Pax will be working with those factories after hearing about it, so it would be impossible for Marius not to have strong emotions regarding the matter. But Marius, you and I are different. You hold his hand the way he held yours when he comforted you. You press your palms against him and interlock your fingers, allowing for your warmth to pass on to one another. I'm an attorney. Fairness and justice are something I must protect and hold to the same value as life. I'm an attorney that works on individual cases and you're the CEO of PACS. In comparison, you have to manage a much wider range of things and be the wings and support for many more people. You must have your own methods and a degree of shrewdness to be able to remove potential risks while protecting your employees and family. This is just a simple partnership with Joseph Brightwood. Your goal isn't to help him earn money in unethical ways, right? That's all that you're doing. It shouldn't have an influence on your sense of justice. You're right. Mary stops and quickly lowers his head. Before you can react, he has already kissed you gently on the lips. We're still outside. It's just a small celebration. It's a celebration that everything's finally over, a celebration for Troy Gaines going to prison, a celebration that we made it one piece, and he looks down and presses his forehead against yours. It's a celebration for me having you, and no one can take you away from me. As the two of you near the parking lot, the fear in your memory takes over once again. However, this time around, you quickly rid yourself of it. We should hurry home if we want to celebrate. Can I make a request for something to eat? I want something good. Of course, that's not a problem at all. I'll have faith in my arrangements. You rarely ever ask for anything. It'd be more embarrassing than my guitar performance last time if I'm unable to fulfill your wishes. Maria's bedroom. A few days later, things finally returned to being peaceful again. The culprits continued to be arrested one after another. The resigned employees were invited back by Marius and returned to their research on the X-Point 2. And today, the X-Point 2 press release took place just as planned. Phew, everything ended up on a good note. The response for the second generation product is really positive as well. After washing and drying your hair, you snuggle into Marius' bed feeling exhausted. In just a few days, you and Marius resolve another exciting and grand catastrophe together. The news and trending topics continue to follow up on the incident's developments as well. However, nothing is heard about the partnership between Pax and Joseph Brightwood. I just hope they don't make any moves like Troy Kent did anymore. The sight of Marius being injured continues to appear in your dreams. You feel a sudden frustration as you think about it again. You pick up your phone in an attempt to shift your focus, but you don't find anything that interests you. At this moment, your gaze falls on the guitar that Marius was supposed to play for his performance. Why don't I play the guitar for a while and hopefully I'll be in a better mood? Barefooted, you walk over, pick up the guitar, and sit on the side of the bed. However, you're not sure what to play as your fingertips touch the strings. What should I play?
그거야 물론 내 대표곡인 영원히 헤어지지 않는 사랑이죠.
Without you knowing, Marius, who has just showered and changed into loungewear, is behind you with the faint smell of shampoo sticking to him. Before you can react, he sits down on the bed and pulls you, moving your fingers to the starting positions on the guitar. Maybe it's because he just showered, but Marius' skin is extremely warm. You can't help but lean closer into his arms. As the pleasant fragrance of the shampoo permeates the air, you find comfort in your flustered emotions.
이 노래의 키는 여기... 왜 그렇게 봐요?
Unknowingly, you find yourself staring at the side of his face. You quickly look down as you remember the last time the two of you spoke while tuning the guitar, avoiding Mary's mischievous gaze. I'm not looking at you, I'm looking at the strings.
하긴 누난 내 연주 연습도 체크해야 하니까 열심히 봐두긴 해야죠.
Marius doesn't expose what you're thinking in your mind. He masterfully tunes the guitar with a smile on his face and strums the chords to make sure it's correct. Seems like you really have been practicing.
물론이죠. 장사하는 사람들은 신용이 중요하거든요. 어때요? 그때 티켓 끊어버릴 걸 후회하고 있죠? 이럴 때 가격을 올리지 않으면 큰 손해일 것 같은데.
If you raise the price, I'll cancel the entire performance. You move to get up, seeing your reaction, Marius begins to playfully beg for you to stay while hugging you even tighter.
알았어요. 내가 잘못했어요. 안 그럴게요.
He holds your hands and guides you to the right position.
여기에요. 이제 연주 시작해요.
It's not easy to guide someone to play a guitar, especially when it's an amateur during the guiding. But compared to some time ago, when the two of you first listened to a guitar performance together, Marius now looks to be the more experienced player. Though you might not imagine it from the name, Love That Never Breaks Up is a song with no sadness or sorrow when Marius is the one playing it. On the contrary, the further into the song he gets, the lighter and quicker his pace becomes. The song takes on a much brighter and more optimistic tune. Each note is filled with joyful and passionate love. Patience, gentle movements, and fury true emotions linger beneath your overlapping fingers. That's amazing. I didn't know you could already play this song so well.
네, 그동안 이 한 곡만 연주했거든요. 그날부터 이 곡에만 집중했어요.
It's rare to see Marius respond so calmly when being complimented.
공연도 체크했으니 이제 평가를 해야 하지 않을까요?
The performance was spectacular, but for some reason, I feel like the song shouldn't be called Love That Never Breaks Up. With such a joyful and passionate melody, the song should be called Love That Will Never Break Up.
그것도 맞는 말이에요. 이 곡의 멜로디 자체에 잔잔한 슬픔이 담겨 있거든요. 하지만 음악의 연출과 연주자의 심경도 공연의 일부니까요.
Although the performance has been over for a while, Barry still has his arms wrapped around you as he continues to pluck the guitar strings. The sound of the guitar softly resonates in your ear.
작곡가의 배경을 알고 있으면 음악을 통해 그의 우여곡절과 슬픔을 더욱 쉽게 느낄 수 있어요. 하지만 이 곡을 처음 들었을 땐 작곡가가 청중들에게 전하는 축복이 느껴졌어요. 그리고
He traces your arms and grabs a hold of your hands once again as he speaks. This time, he doesn't guide your hands toward the strings again. He is simply staying put and entwining his fingers with yours.
작곡가의 감정을 재현하는 것보다 연주를 통해 작곡가의 축복에 답하고 싶었어요.
You're right. In just a few days, the two of you have experienced sadness, joy, shock, and fear. But regardless of which of the emotions the two of you experienced, it amplified and connected your feelings, making the love between you even stronger. When the moon is in full bloom and life is filled with love, there is no need to intentionally bring up feelings of sorrow. Then let's hope we can feel this way for all the performance yet to come.
당연하죠. 연주할 때마다 너무 경쾌해서 새해를 맞이하는 기분이 들지도 몰라요.
He loosens his arms and takes the guitar from you.
근데 누나도 기타에 관심이 많은 것 같네요? 나랑 같이 다시 기타 배울 생각은 없어요?
Hey, did you forget? I just recently picked up Pat's copyright infringement cases. I don't think I'm going to have the time for that now.
깜빡할 뻔했어요. 하지만
Marius thinks hard for a few more seconds. He then claps his hands together in excitement.
그럼 이렇게 해요. 내가 계속 배울게요. 다 배우고 나면 누나 일도 얼추 끝날 테고 그때 내가 가르쳐주면 되잖아요.
From the way you're behaving, that was your plan all along, wasn't it?
이런 일에선 늘 유비무환이라는 말을 굳게 믿고 있거든요. 어때요? 배우고 싶은 곡 없어요? 시간 되면 악보 좀 찾아볼게요.
Let me think. How about lottery? Marius' face drops down as he realizes you're making fun of his little episode in the hospital.
누나, 왜 아직도 그걸 담아두고 있는 거예요?
I'm not holding a grudge, I'm just reminding you. You reach out your hand and gently caress the hair on the back of his head. You feel flustered once more as you're afraid to touch his wound. At that moment, you suddenly come to understand what the feeling you had previously was. It was fear. It was the fear of seeing him hurt again, the fear of him being set up again, and the fear of him pushed into a corner one day. It's fine if you need to pretend to have gone insane or be injured, even if you have to keep it from me. Hearing this, Marius suddenly raises his head. Feelings of surprise, pain and regret flashed through his gaze. But in the end, the only thing that remains in his eyes is the image of you. But no matter what, you really can't let yourself get injured like this again. Even now, the image of Marius bleeding from his head and lying unconscious in your arms haunts you at night. Your heart was hurting to the point where you feel like you were going to suffocate. You're not sure if you can survive it once more. Marius hugs you and runs his fingers through your hair, gently comforting you. The air is filled with the fragrance of shampoo. He holds onto your shoulder and presses his forehead against yours.
다음부턴 아무리 큰 일이라도 내 안전을 최우선으로 하겠다고 약속할게요. 무슨 일이 일어나도 누나에게 숨기지 않을게요. 이번과 같은 일은 영원히 일어나지 않을 거예요. 알겠죠?
Just saying it doesn't count. Let's get it in writing and make it official.
좋아요. 어떻게 쓸까요? 지금 당장 노트 가져올게요.
He gets up to leave for the study, but you pull him back by his wrist. In his split second of surprise, you move up toward him and kiss him on the lips. You still owe me a ticket from the last time. That's the written proof. You're not going to forget, are you?
그럴 리가요. 이렇게 적극적인 누나라면 잊고 싶어도 잊히지 않을 것 같은데요?
His warmth envelops you once again. The moist soft touch extracts all the negative emotions you've been bottling up these few days. Your mind continues to be tugged around by him, like a plank floating on the water, tussling and swaying to the waves and ripples. A ravaging, passionate feeling that you're unable to ignore by tightly shutting your eyes rises up inside of you. Only then does the recognition that Marius is truly okay and by your side intensify.
왜 그래요?
Before he can finish his question, you sink your face into his embrace once again, ridding yourself of the last teardrop filled with worry. It's fine. It's all fine now. He doesn't say another word. All he does is hug you tightly in his arms to give you a clear and warm sensation. You both know that due to your professions and backgrounds, neither of you leads a peaceful life. You are unable to guarantee that the same thing won't happen again. However, you hope that after each scare and incident that awaits you in the future, the two of you can still joke and laugh and be in the company of music and warmth as you are now. What you hope for is not a love that never breaks up, but a tight embrace that filled with love like the one you are experiencing now.